Merry Christmas, everyone, and Feliz Navidad. Eddie, ding, round two. I'm going to make some Oakleys for you today, but again, one last chance just to soak this up. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This is a suit in search of an occasion. What the occasion is, I don't know. Actually, I do know. It is Christmas. It is the time for the season. So let's go ahead and begin. I am going to strap my GoPro on my head, and we are going to make prescription anti-glare lenses for Eddie's Oakley Chamfor. This is the model number 8039 in color 0151. Great frame. Now I can cut lenses for a lot of Oakleys. I can't cut them for all of them, but this is one I can. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to pop out the original demo lenses and put the frame into the tracing element of my blocker. Is everything? Yeah, we're good to go. Hit start. A little stylus is going to pop up and it's going to go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the lens before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy genuine, authentic, any kind of frame from me and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase whether they are prescription or not. Now, I do not sell Oakley as of yet. I know I've said that before. I'm getting really close, but they just have a lot of rules about selling online. So for now and maybe in the future, send me your Oakleys, which is what Eddie did, and I can cut lenses for them. Just contact me in advance to make sure I can cut the lenses. I'll do my best for you, and then I can ship back right away. So that is the shape we'll be cutting, only magnified. Let me minify it down to the correct size. That green outline is the shape of the lens we'll be cutting. I'm going to magnify it while I'm working on it. Now, your pupillary distance is 59, which is 29.5 in each eye, so the computer starts at 32.5. I'm going to tap the minus button a couple times till we get down to 29.5. I do want to raise, let's go ahead and raise that optical center height up to, let's say, 18, because you look out of the top quadrant of the lens. You're not looking through the center. So let's come down here. Let's go ahead and get your lenses prepped. Your right lens is minus 375, minus 150 at 175, minus 375, minus 150 at, is this on? Is this on? Hello? Is this on? At 175. And actually, you know what? Hey, there we go. The light's on now. Take the lens out of the protective packet, put it in. Let's put the power drum on what? Minus 375. That would help so I can read what I'm doing. Flip that over. Find the optical center of your lens. Check your astigmatism correction. And we're going to put 3 dots on your lenses. And let's mark this one the right lens. We'll put it on the platform there. Let's do the same thing now for the left lens. Minus 3, minus 175 at 170. Minus 3, minus 175 at 170. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve. Put the power drum on minus 3. Rotate until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center. Check your astigmatism correction. And then let's put the 3 dots on the lens again, shall we? And this one is the left lens. And you know it's coming. You know it's coming. If anyone missed any of that, let me recap. I'm not saying that joke for you guys. I'm saying it for me. I've said that joke maybe 600 times, and it keeps getting funnier every time I say it. So, this is a block, or as I like to call him, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens. While I'm done making sound effects with it, I need to attach this to your lens to hold it in place inside the cutting wheel. So I need to use 2 double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've got some here. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to place this onto the first block. Do the same thing now onto the second block. Now on the back is a little silver button. And forgive me for repeating myself in your second video, but there may be people who are watching this for the first time. Eddie, and I'm just going to go ahead and explain the process again as if it was the first time for everyone. So on the back is a silver button that is a magnet that is going to attach itself to something magnetical there in the arm. I'm going to pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, the second side of the adhesive sticker. Place that in there. Now the reason why I put those 3 dots on there is because of your astigmatism. Your lens has to be in there oriented just right. If it rotates just at all, you're not going to see as clearly. So hopefully you can see those 3 black dots on there. I'm going to move. This is the platform that the lens sits on. And so I was going to move it out of the way so that arm is not in the way. The blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. If I were to measure vertically and horizontally, that's where it'd be. Your eye is just above that in inset. So if you can see, there's an orange diagram here, just like the crosshairs of a scope. I've measured vertically and horizontally, and I'm going to put those 3 dots on that line. Here in the cross is the optical center. Those 2 dots are lined up. I'm going to hit that button, and the arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. I'm going to do the same thing now for the unright lens. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Line that up. Take your unright lens. Now, if your pupillary distance was different in each eye, I would go ahead and program that, but it is the same. The optical center, the height of it stays the same. I do have to change the PD. I would never change the optical center. Now, having said never, there are reasons to do that, but it is extremely rare, and unfortunately you haven't seen me do that in a video yet. It's usually when someone suffers a stroke and one of their eyes is very much lower in set because of muscular abnormalities, where most people's eyes are very close, but there is a time that some people's eyes may shift. Car accidents, reconstructive surgery, it does happen, but in this case I won't have to do it. Oh, I didn't bum you guys out on some negative thoughts, but then, you know, if they're still here and I'm still making uneven optical centers, that means that they're alive and their lives move forward. So everything is lined up. I'm going to hit that button. The arm comes down and then place the block onto the left lens. So this is the edger. This is what does all the work while I run my mouth. I recommend everyone go out and buy a machine that does that for them, does the work while they run their mouth. But it costs about $40,000. This is an Essilor machine. This is an Essilor blocker. You can see the little logo. I am an Essilor man. I do love the products that they make. They're great customer service. They back up their products well. This machine is called the Nexi. I'm trying to interject something a little bit different with candy canes on it this time. But it costs about $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter at home, and then you can hang candy canes from it and cut your own lenses, and you won't need this guy with the funny looking tie to cut them for you. So let's go ahead and wake up the computer. That is the shape of the lens we'll be cutting. If you notice, this is a picture of what I was calling the block that is on there. It tells me here's something different. There is 2 different sizes. On very, very narrow lenses, there is a smaller red block, and if that were the case, that picture would be there for Essilor to remind me what tools I need in order to complete the job. So the actual cutting wheel is over here. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material until it's the final size. This wheel in the center, that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. This wheel to the far right is a polishing wheel, which I use on semi-rimless frames or a drill mount. There are times, like for instance this one, and this is one I cannot do, and I'll demonstrate later, but the edge is exposed, and this actually has a polished edge, excuse me, and that's the wheel that would do that should the occasion call for it. But you're going to have to write out in triplicate while you want me to polish a lens. You know, I need to do a video on that, the pros and cons of polished edges. So I'm going to, for one, pick the material. That your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, not plastic, not high index, not Trivex. I love this one, TBD, to be determined later. They're going to come up with some lens material later, and then I would select that. But we're going to stick with polycarbonate. This tells me which bevel to put on there. This is the V-shaped bevel. If this were a string mount frame where there's nothing at the bottom and there was a string to hang on to it, that is the one I would cut. Or for a completely rimless, I could choose where it's completely flat going all the way around. I'm not going to do that. We are going to stick with the bevel. This is not a drill mount frame. If it was, of course it knows it's not, so this is if I would have wanted to move things manually, but I'm going to let the computer automatically do it. This shows it's on a soft cycle, and this is if I wanted to cut it fast. These are for polished edges, which I won't be doing. Now there's a safety bevel that I could do on the front of the lens, although it's not going to be seen or felt in this frame, so I'm not going to do it. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. The safety bevel is after it's done cutting. I'm just going to smooth out this back surface of the lens, You can see I have the process. There's a little lip right here because that's the mold. When they actually make the lenses, they inject the material into a mold and then it hardens, and this is where they separate it, or it comes out at, but this will long be gone because the shape of the lens is right here. So, you know, that's going to be cut off in the process, but there will be some rough edges. So that's what the rear safety bevel, as it's referred to as, is known by. So, let's see, we're going to pick that one. I'm going to hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it is large enough to fit into the frame. You can see it's just going around tracing the shape. And then the old carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know where to place the bevel for the least amount of edge thickness showing. If I wanted to, on very high prescriptions, I can move the bevel forwards or backwards to give you the best cosmetic look. It's really not going to matter in this frame. You're not going to have any edge thickness whatsoever. So if you see light flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, meaning no water sprays onto the lens. We're just the opposite, plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex cut wet, where you have water spraying on the lens the entire time. Water will spray onto this lens for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle to wash away the optical debris that you can see on the edge of the lens now. But your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It has 100% UV A and B protection, as well as a premium scratch coating. These lenses are also virtually unbreakable. They are very high impact lenses used for safety. This is what the soldiers and military and combat zones are given to protect their eyes, because it is very hard to penetrate the lens. Almost like a bulletproof jacket for your eye. But as you can see, your lens is thicker now, but again, we're only going to, your lens is like a bowl. It's thin in the center, thicker at the edges. So we're only going to be using the thinnest part of the lens to cut. Now, if you had a very large lens, it was just like in the 80s, the old schoolboys, this is how thick of an edge you would have, but you're not going to have that with this one. Now, your lenses are also aspheric. Aspheric simply means not spherical. I do have a spherical lens here. A spherical lens is completely round in every direction. As I turn it, it has the same meridian. This has a much flatter front curvature to fit in today's flatter curvature frames, so it doesn't give you that ugly fishbowl appearance when looking at it. So it also has an anti-glare coating on it. Now this is my house anti-glare that sells for $44.99. Just this morning, when I was cutting his lenses with Crizal Prevencia, that one does cost a little bit more, but it does more. This does not have the blue blocking ability that Crizal Prevencia has, but this is a very, very, very good anti-glare coating for $44.99, which could be Crizal. These are Essilor lenses, and you know, the machine that applies the anti-glare coating costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto the lens. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there. Now, it does not come in a Crizal wrapper, but I can't imagine they have separate equipment just to make this lens. So when I say house brand, it looks like the same effect that Crizal does. I cannot prove that it's Crizal. I cannot disprove that it's not, but it just does not come in the Crizal wrapper. But anti-glare is 3 features in one. It eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead, fluorescent lights and the such. It reduces reflection, so when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. And if you take a picture with a flash, you don't see the flash lit up in the lens. And of course, I mentioned the scratch protection they put on there. Oops, let's not do that. Let's put this back in that one. But if you do nothing else on your, the only 2 add-ons you can do, and let's not talk about lens materials for now, the only 2 add-ons you can do to a prescription lens, there you go, you can see the water that's going to wash away any debris. The only 2 add-ons are transitions and or anti-glare. Transitions turn dark when you go outside and return back to clear indoors. Anti-glare, as I've just mentioned, the 3 qualities about it. No matter what, okay, let me back up, let's talk about lens material. Glass is the clearest of all the materials, but it is heavy, and if you drop it, it shatters. Then comes plastic, then comes polycarbonate. Well, actually, Trivex, then polycarbonate, then high indexes. So no matter what material you use, they all absorb a certain amount of light from getting to the retina, coming through the iris and focusing, just like the old drive-in movie theaters, on the back of your retina. Light is a cone. It comes in from every direction, and your lens bends light. That is my special power. I bend light for a living. I take all the light that's coming in from every direction, just like the flashlight. If you could see the light coming out here, it'd be all over. You can focus the light down to a single point. At least I hope I can on here. And that's what we're doing. The light's coming in. If you can see that peripheral circle, light's coming in from all over. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. Light comes in from a very large surface, and we focus it down to a single point. That single point comes in right in front of your eye and becomes a straight beam through your iris, through your pupil, and forms to a single point on the back of your retina. When you have astigmatism, that light scatters in all places, and that's why you get a halo effect or spikes when you see lights coming, or if you look at a street light. That's because it's not focusing on a single point on the back. This is your eye, a round orb. It's coming through the center and focuses on the retina. And if it's not on a single point, that's why you get blurry images. So we're going to tune it down to go through that one straight line. And I'll keep talking as I demonstrate. Let me grab a paper towel. Thank you, towel. Or I could use my little Santa hat to dry everything off. So I still have some, I'd like to say, last minute Christmas shopping to do. This is Saturday. Saturday, what is the date? December 23rd, 53 degrees here in my hometown. I would say last minute Christmas shopping, but essentially I'm just getting started. I'm here all day long and then doing videos, so I can't get out during the week. I know, believe it or not, I should be aware of internet shopping, of all people. I don't know why I don't order online, but I'm just busy with working. But I have a very small family. Tuck the lens at the outside corner using my thumbs, press down at the edge, and that snaps in there easily. But I'm going to go out shopping today for what I need to do, and I'm going to put all these candy canes in this hat, and I'm going to pass them out while I'm shopping, wearing this crazy suit because people love to approach me while I'm wearing it and say funny things. I'm putting it on the L, hit start. So let me go ahead and take this block off. It is no longer needed. And again, as you've seen by now, I saved the stickers. Someone's challenged me to recycle. They heard me mention that I like to recycle as much as I can. To me, it's a game to recycle as much as possible. So I'm saving these and making a piece of artwork. I'm going to set that down there. Oops, one of them fell off the bottom. Let's put you back on there. Put you back. Join the family. So, return you from whence you came. All right, let's come back down here. So, yeah, focusing on the retina, very important so everything sees clearly. The rotation helps combine with that factor. So that's all seeing is getting light to the eyes, and the more precise the light, the better. So we're going to come back and we're going to examine the right eye. We're going to turn the fine-tune knob to 175, which is in relation to your astigmatism. I'm going to check the power, and we are getting minus 375, one tick mark away from 4. Now again, forgive me for repeating myself, Eddie. Your prescription says minus 375, minus 150 at 175. You have 312, 15 steps of far-sighted correction. You are nearsighted, you are a myope. That is why there is a minus sign, because everything, when you take your glasses off, this flashlight is much larger than it really appears. So when you put your glasses on, it will minify down to the correct size. If you can see as I do this, or better yet, the print on the screen as I move the lens in front. Hopefully you can see those letters are getting smaller. The candy canes too get smaller as this passes by. So your lens is minified down to the correct size, and it minifies by 15 steps. Now once everything is the right size, we have to take away the fuzzy edges. That's what makes, astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. It is the fine-tune knob, and we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 175. A straight line is 0, 90, 180. We're going to turn that knob to 175. Now this 175 is an arbitrary number. These first two numbers are real values to be concerned with. This number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. but we're at 3. We're going to check your astigmatism correction, and we end up at -5 1/4. That's because you add 2 like signs together. So if you add 150 to 375, you end up with 5.25, and that's where we ended up. Now, your left eye needs 12 steps of farsighted correction, less spherical correction, less size redistribution, if you will, resizing, but you need 1 more step of astigmatism correction in your left eye than you do your right. So we're going to end up with a total combined power of -475, and that fine-tune knob will return to 170. Now, as I mentioned, you mailed me your frame, so the lenses are not free. The polycarbonate, the thinner, lighter weight, unbreakable lenses with UVA and UVB protection and a premium scratch coating is $49.99 in your frame. The anti-reflective coating, ARC, it goes by the initials, is $44.99 for a total of $94.98. So if anyone out there has a pair of Oakleys or another frame that you need single vision lenses for, your total will be $94.98, and that includes return shipping back to you. Now, I can cut lenses for most Oakleys on this machine, but not all of them. This machine costs $40,000. In order to cut, what is this one called? The Flak. I need an $80,000 machine, of which Essilor sells, and it's called Mr. Blue or Mr. Orange. It has a different type of cutting wheel on there. You know, I've never tapped on this while it's cutting. No, but I was hoping it would magnify. But this lens is held in place by a special groove. Let's see if this can pick it up. But most lenses have that V-shaped bevel on there. This one has a very unique notch that my machine is unable to do. This is called a shelf bevel, because it literally looks like there's a shelf sitting on there, and it starts at one point, does not do anything on the bottom. It cuts it flat, just like this where a drill mount, like the setting there. I just do not have the setting to all of a sudden change that. Now, I can provide lenses for you in a frame like this. You would have to mail it to me, and I would have to mail it to my lab that I order the lenses from. These are my brother-in-law, so I cannot even cut lenses for my brother-in-law. He wants polarized gray lenses. He has transitions in there now, but he wants polarized gray lenses for when he wears these and he's riding his motorcycle. This is known as a pilot temple. It's designed for people who like to ride motorcycles, or originally pilots who wear a hard helmet, so you can slide these on and off without taking your helmet on and off. So, reminder, this I can do, this I cannot. I can make it happen for you, it just takes a little longer. Sadly, it does cost more because I have to get a middleman involved, but hey, at least you can get what you want. So let's go ahead and take the left lens out. Let's see if it fits. Let's dry everything off here. Use my thumb to take off the last of the Chamfor, the optical sawdust. Many of my videos for years, you would see me drop it on the floor, but I'm going to drop it into the trash can at my wife's request to become a better person all around, which is a great goal, by the way. You know, it's hard to believe because I was so great before now, and I'm going to become even greater. It's hard to believe that's even possible, and yet I'm going to enjoy the discovery process. So, tuck it in, push down at the nose. It snaps right in. I'm going to go ahead and take the block off. Save the sticker. Add to my monster. And the blob. It came from outer space. Outer space. It is getting kind of cool looking, isn't it? That one fell off and I reattached it. Why me? Why me? It was your time. So let's come back down here. Turn the fine-tune knob to 170. Put it in above that black dot. Your PD, your pupillary distance, your optical center that's going to sit directly in front of your eye. Let's check the power of that lens. I'm getting -3. -3. We're going to check your astigmatism correction of 175. And when we're done, oops, did I turn it all the way? We end up at -475. One tick mark away from 5. Again, cut perfectly. I could not have done a better job if I had done that myself. So your pupillary distance is 59. I'm going to turn the card around. When I place the PD stick from my pocket on your right lens on 0, we hold it up on the left and we're getting 59 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. I want to check the optical center height because, again, I moved it up. This is not just the dead center geometric center of the frame. And I'm getting 18 millimeters. And you measure from the middle of the frame because the lens goes down into that bevel, so that is cut perfectly. Now, again, this is the point that in every video I mention as I clean your lenses, that when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and because of that statistic, 99%, I'm cleaning that a little better, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So just stop by your local office where you had your eyes examined and just tell them if it's too loose or too tight, or if it's crooked. It only takes about 30 seconds to a minute. I'm part of that 80%. Mine sit uneven on the table, but they sit level on me. Very rarely does someone pick up a pair of glasses from me in the store and they do not need to be adjusted. So that is what they look like. And of course, one of the benefits of the thinner, lighter weight lenses that I use, there is no edge thickness in here, even with your prescription, which is, 5 1/4 combined in the right eye, 475 in the left. That's the 5 1/4 edge. A smaller frame helps reduce the thickness. Nothing on that side. So that's it. If anyone has any questions, for the longest time I would tell people to email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the contact me button on the website, which you can do. But if you have a question or a comment, I think what's really important now is if you can leave it in the comment section below here in the video, because I can always answer it there. But the most important thing, you may ask a question that someone else hasn't thought of, or a comment that someone else hadn't thought of that could be beneficial to them. So leave it down there and let other people grow from the knowledge that you are seeking. And you can always follow me on please subscribe to my channel. Please share this video with friends who you think would appreciate watching it, friends and family members, to make them aware of what I can do for them. But subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Free Prescription Lenses. On Twitter, you can follow me at Free RX Lenses. But that is that. Eddie in Lynn, Massachusetts. I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut a second pair of your glasses. This time it was for the Oakley 8039 Chamfor in the 51 eye size, color 0151, which is the matte black. And everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.